Willie May, here at the Pacific Rim Institute, together with golden paintbrush, Castilea or Castileja levisecta, family Orobancaceae or Orobancaceae, cousins members of the genus Pedicularis or Rhinanthus, and of course other members of the same genus of Castilea or Castileja. But this is the only golden paintbrush in its native areas of Pacific Northwest, and it was listed on the Endangered Species Act. There are only few remaining white populations, with 2 in Canada off Vancouver Island and 9 in Puget Sound, out of which most of them here on Whidbey Island and 1 known on San Juan Island. Like all Orobancaceae, paintbrushes are at least partially parasites, and these are called hemiparasites or semi-parasite. They do have green leaves and they do produce most of their own food, but they also have the ability to catch on with haustorial projections to the roots of neighboring plants, such as yarrow right here and woolly sunshine right here. So even though it can do pretty well without a host plant, it does even better with a host plant. Its more or less lanceolate leaves are sessile with no petiole clasping on the stems, and the tips of their leaves are toothed. What you see here golden looking like petals are actually modified leaves named bracts to take the role of petals, which are also modified leaves actually. So these yellow bracts are actually covering the flower inside, which is usually greenish or greenish yellow. And that is the characteristic for other members of this Orobancaceae. Take for example Melampiro. After pollination and fertilization, they will produce a capsule and release numerous seeds. Even though they are hermaphroditic, having both male and female floral parts in each flower and numerous flowers on each plant, making the plant synoecious and the flower hermaphroditic, they're almost self-incompatible, meaning that they have other measures in place, chemical probably, that will prevent a plant from selfing, meaning they don't necessarily produce seeds. Their ovules do not get fertilized with pollen from the same plant, and not even from necessarily same population, but much better from a population hopefully nearby, so their pollinators, most probably bumblebees, can make it from a pollination to another, bringing a whole new meaning to the habitat fragmentation. Golden paintbrush grows on prairies and grasslands at low altitude, and it's an important member of the Gary Oak ecosystems. There are speculations that because it's a relatively short plant growing to about 10 to 50 centimeters tall, it has adapted to the recurrent fires that probably originally were natural and then later on human-made, as pre-Columbian First Nations were trying to preserve the prairies from which they would gather food from the forests and the savannas that will encroach upon the prairies. Several factors have brought this plant species to its brink of extinctions. One of them was fire suppression. As it's relatively short, growing to only about 10 to 50 centimeters tall, it cannot easily compete with other taller plants, grasses or shrubs. Besides the fire suppression, also habitat destruction for residential and agricultural endeavors has limited the land for wild prairies to thrive. Other factors affecting native plants' ability to thrive is the encroachment of aggressive invasives such as Scotch broom and oxeye daisy, to name a couple. Pacific Rim Institute here on Whidbey Island has made great progress of bringing this species off from the brink of extinction, now taking pride in having tens of thousands of individual plants. Maintaining, creating, and allowing natural habitats to protect native species of plants will create a better community for the ecosystem to thrive that will create a healthier planet for a healthy humanity.